Your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
Ready to add a dash of Southern flavor to your week? At Wings and Rings, their brand new Southern fried wings have arrived for a limited time. Indulge in the irresistible goodness of large, traditional bone-in wings coated in a crispy beer batter and fried to perfection. Try them with hot honey or any other sauces. And for those busy summer days coming up, look no further than their Southern Fried Wings Family Bundle. Wings and Rings, 2 Lincoln locations on O Street or Village Lane.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for 3! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NEPCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Welcome to On the Block. It is Strick and Austin Orman. It is a Monday, July the 15th. What a wonderful weekend. I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I did as well. Sunny, hot. Be careful out there. Put on sunscreen. Make sure that you're covered and protected. It is blazing outside, but it's beautiful to have the sun up, and it's not raining. It's not pouring. It's not flooding. You know, just shout out to all of those who have
for the first time in a while.
For a while. Yeah. We got a good show on deck for you guys today. We're going to have a little talk and discussion about some reactions on the MLB draft. We're going to get into a topic about NIL again, but it's a unique topic that we're going to delve into and dig a little bit. It's an objective thought. It's not necessarily, the case, because we can't try this case as of yet, but we can talk about it because we think it's an interesting one dealing with NIL, and we'll talk about Oregon Ducks being that they're also going to be in the Big Ten. We'll have some NBA talk about the free agencies and some things that we think could be unique with that. Jalen Brunson, did he take a friendly deal? Yeah or no? The choice will be yours. We'll discuss that as well. I have Brian Munson to talk about recruiting and what's going on here at the University of Nebraska, and then we'll cross it over with those schools. So we got a great show for you guys today. Thank you for joining in. Thanks also to our wonderful, wonderful sponsors, NEPCO, and all the wonderful work and the people that they do and the things that they do here in the community and in the state of Nebraska. You can also join the team. Just make sure you go to nepcoinc.com or constructorslincoln.com and join and become a part of the team. You can also get you not an NIL, but a CDL. Get you a CDL.
NIL, CDL, whatever. Equally valuable, right?
Austin Orman, how was your weekend? How are you doing today, my friend?
Tricky, it was a good weekend. I'm trying to think. Yeah, pretty low key. Pretty chill, all things considered. Saw some friends, had the kid for most of it. Good time with the wife as well. And then woke up this morning with allergies kicking my butt. So
I saw you in here squeezing.
There, hello. So apologies for any sneezes or sniffles throughout the show. I am fine. You will be fine. We will make it. But yeah, thank you, trees, for nothing.
He will try to make sure that he taps that's the beautiful thing about being on the on the board. He can tap the mute button and make sure that this. Like he cut me off. See, he's got total control in here of what's going on. But we appreciate you guys for joining us on the block another week. Got some topics, things happening, and we're going to delve into it right now. MLB, it is an interesting time. I was very fortunate to be a part of this. Obviously, it's changed in the coverage of it. It used to was just kind of go by the way, but I think they're doing a good job of really trying to have these moments and share them with them, so that you can attach yourself, if you're a fan of the program that they came from, that you can also join in the celebration of them being drafted and kind of understand where they're going, and then you can kind of follow them. That's kind of the hope of it. And so a lot of young men were excited over this weekend when they got drafted. And what's your initial reaction about some of the drafts? Obviously, going one was Travis Bazzana out of Oregon State, second base. A lot of people feel that's a good one for the Guardians. That's a great pickup. But Wake Forest is happy. They got a couple in the top 10. So what's your initial reaction?
Three in the top 10. Yeah, which is pretty incredible. Chase Burns, of course, transfers into Wake Forest out of Tennessee. He goes number 2. A little surprised by that one. Top 10 talent. Wasn't sure he was going to go that high, but my guess is the Reds try to fast track him to the majors. Probably not as fast as Skeens, but he'll get there pretty quick. I like Condon to the Rockies. I bet he's up pretty quick. Kurtz, that the Athletics took, the second Wake Forest guy, was one I was looking at for the Royals. Hagen Smith is a guy the Royals were looking at. He went 5th, but
just wasn't able to get to him.
That's fine. I like that. That's okay.
You're happy. Okay.
I was. Royals have taken a lot of college pitchers.
I know
recently.
why you're happy. We got to see him personally.
We did?
Yeah, down at the
You were there? I didn't see you down there. Where were you?
Not at the game, but I was there at the
CWS?
At the Blur.
You were at the Blur. That's a good time.
So we got to see him. He acted up, but he's also acted up against Nebraska. He did us dirty.
Yeah, Jack Caglione. Like the pick, don't love the pick.
Yeah.
It's good. I'm not at all mad about it. They say they're going to try him as a two-way player. I don't know, Strick. I think he should just stay in the box. Do you buy him as a pitcher? I mean, he throws 100.
I mean, he can. I mean, we talked about this. Is this the new thing? You know, like individuals like himself. I mean, yeah, maybe you can throw. I think I maybe wouldn't throw him as a starter, but maybe middle reliever. You know, use him at times. That way, it still allows him to keep his focus in the box and on the field, but it does give them that flexibility from time to time when you need to get something done. If you can rev it up there, you need to smoke a guy out and transfer it over to your save guy, you know, or you can throw him as a save guy. I mean, I would think maybe middle reliever if you're going to do it, and I think you don't do it no more than 4 years. Just allow him to grow and develop, and you know, still stay focused on what he does best, but.
The industry seems to think he's a hitter primarily, but the Royals introduced him as a two-way guy. I'm sure they'll give him a look down like Arizona, right? Maybe in low A, but my guess is it's a pretty short-lived experiment.
Yeah.
I'm very mad that the Cardinals got J.J. Weatherholt. He was one of my favorite guys in the class, and I kind of wish the Royals would have taken him. Braden Montgomery went 12th. He's another guy that I was in on for the Royals. But even some local news here, Strick, with Nebraska. Josh Caron got selected by the Seattle Mariners, 4th round, 121st overall. So good for him. He is off to the pros. And then just recently, just coming across the wire a couple minutes ago, another guy that I had the chance to watch in person for state high school baseball, Cale Fountain. Most home runs ever in the state of Nebraska, right, for a high school player. 151st pick overall. He goes to the San Diego Padres. He's an LSU commitment right now. But again, that's a top 5 round pick right there. That's probably going to be pretty hard money to turn down. So we'll see if Cale Fountain actually ends up at LSU or if he's straight off to the pros.
Yeah. Is there anybody else that really kind of moved you a little bit? we see some high school athletes that kind of popped out of there, like Bryce Rayner out of Harvard Westlake.
Here's an interesting one for you, Strick.
Yeah.
What if I told you there's a switch pitcher that got drafted?
I remember we talked about him.
Yeah.
We mentioned him. I think that is absolutely, and let me make sure I'm clear. He can do this after each at bat. So once he starts an at bat one way, he has to complete it that way, and then he can switch back. Is that how the rules work?
Yeah. One of the last guys, maybe the last guy to have this ability in Major League Baseball was actually an Omaha guy, Pat Venditti. Out of, I think he went to Creighton Prep and Creighton, but at least he was from Creighton. So yeah, Gerangelo Cinci, I think is how you say his name, can throw with both arms. A little better from the right, but having the ability with the left.
Right.
Yes.
But he can get it to around 90, low 90s with the left though, which is what a lot of people like a lefty to be able to do is that low 90 range.
Oh, for sure.
Minimum.
Right. The other kind of two-way guy, Carson Benj from Oklahoma State, we actually didn't get to see him down in Stillwater because Nebraska never ended up playing Oklahoma State. This is another guy that was a relief pitcher, but is also an outfield prospect. Hit 335, 18 home runs from the left side, but also pitched in relief for Oklahoma State. The Mets have pretty much shut down everything having to do with pitching. Said, yep, just focus on hitting. He was a solid pitcher, right? You throw 96, you're always going to have some sort of success. But I like to see the Mets kind of picking a lane there. The other one that I'm curious about here, Trey Savage. Strick, do you remember what happened to Tyrod Taylor when he was with the Chargers? Yeah, not exactly the same, but Trey Savage had a collapsed lung. Came back, got inflated and fixed and patched, whatever you do with a collapsed lung, and ended up pitching in I believe it was still in the NCAA tournament for East Carolina. Dude's a stud, but I think it was kind of that medical concern, the fact he's an older sort of prospect that made him drop. But if I'm Toronto, I'm pretty happy getting him down there. 20.
No question. There's two at 16 and 17 that they felt were stunners as far as these two players, the Marlins and the Brewers, picked up. They were kind of stunned by it. PJ Morlando is an outfielder out of Summerville, South Carolina. Some of them, they thought he was a possible day one pick, but they felt that 16 was a little bit too high. They thought that, he's an older prep at 19 years old. His some power, but doesn't have a ton of it. So they felt that, that kind of was a miss there. And then also Braylon Payne out of Elkins, Texas was another one. They felt that, even though he has the frame, but just maybe didn't feel that was a pick that they could have got something better and maybe got him a little bit later. It's
important to keep in mind with the MLB draft that it's not just players that you're taking. You also have to factor in the bonuses.
Yes.
So whenever you see a surprising pick like this, always keep in the back of your mind that the team probably would have preferred to take a guy like this in the second or third round.
Yeah.
But if you get him in the first and you can sign him for cheaper, you're not obligated to pay the full amount per draft selection, right? You get a certain pool of money, right? It's not you get a guaranteed contract, pick one gets this, pick two gets this. You can sign guys for up to this number, plus I think like 5 or 10%, but you can always sign guys for less. So if you ever see a surprising first or second round pick in the MLB draft, they're probably getting a guy that they liked, but think they can get another guy that maybe they thought they could get later for a little bit more money. Because you have to convince some of these guys to skip college, right? So especially these two high school guys, you give them a little more than maybe they were expecting, a little less than the max for that position for a pricier guy, and you can really spread that money out, and feels like you get the best of both worlds if it all works out for you.
And sometimes you feel that there's something that you see in that particular player that you want to get him into your system, and it's kind of like taking some clay, or it's kind of like taking a blank canvas,
right?
That there's some things there. You got the size, you got. And if you get them in your weight program, or you get them in your workout program, or whatever it is that there's some things that you already see that are problems with their games. You can kind of start to iron them out by getting them in, and then you can see very early about trajectory as to You know, are they progressing? Do they learn how, just different things like that, how quickly they take it?
It's interesting to see the times and places that these different organizations choose to go with these kind of value picks, right? So Morlando is a high school guy. So is Braylon Payne. So what it tells me is that Milwaukee thinks it's going to be in a rebuild here pretty soon. So they're going to try to spread that money around, get more prospects, cast a wider bit of a net. And we know Miami lucked into the playoffs last year with a negative run differential. They've been atrocious to start this year. New general manager in charge in both of these places. So the way that I read these picks is neither one of these organizations is in a spot to win right now. They're picking in the middle of these rounds because they were successful enough to make a run, the playoffs last year. Good enough to make the playoffs or be in the fringes, but not good enough to seriously contend once you get there. So they're going to save some money up front, spread it around, try to get some better players on the back end and later in the draft. Because at this point, starting a rebuild, like the Marlins aren't really starting. They've been in the middle of one for a while, but Milwaukee seems like it's going to be on the verge of a teardown sooner than later. So just go get a bunch of guys at this point, see what sticks, because you don't need the immediate impact of paying full value for one guy.
There it is. Yeah, I mean, anything else that just kind of surprised you? Let me just ask this question. How do you feel, honestly, about the direction or how the Royals are looking at things as you eye the first day?
It's
being
different.
That those are your guys.
They are my guys. It's different. The Royals don't take guys like Jack Caglione ever. Legitimately accomplished college bat with, previous pedigree as well. He played for Team USA, some two-way ability. He's off the charts athletically, especially for a first baseman, right? Can run pretty well, can move pretty well. It's weird. I'm not used to the Royals taking that profile of player. Again, I'm not in love with the pick. I see a lot of ways it can go wrong, right? If he doesn't figure out what are good pitches to hit. He didn't strike out a whole lot, only 26 times last year at Florida. He made a lot of contact, a lot of loud contact, but also maybe too much contact. He's not going to get intentionally walked in the pros like he was in the college game.
Right.
Does he stick at first base? Is he a first baseman? Is he a DH? Is there a shot to move him to the corner outfield? I don't know. But to see the Royals shift away from day one college pitching to day one college hitter, I really like. They took a flyer on a high school pitcher out of Pittsburgh that a lot of people seem to be pretty high on. But again, longer runway for a guy like that. But they got pretty good value with that pick. But then day two, they've gone with 3 straight college pitchers. I don't know if I'm in love with that strategy, but the first guy they took, MLB.com says he's maybe the surest guy in the draft in terms of making it to the major leagues as a starter. And that's hard to do. I mean, the number of guys that come out of college with incredible stuff as starters that don't make it as a starter, it's one of the most valuable things you can create is your own starter. It's hard to make. It's really a battle of attrition. The number of guys that make it all the way through the minor leagues to the major leagues, guys like Strasburg and Skeens are rare, where they just basically skip the line after a month or two. Really, a lot of these guys have to get built up. And with all the pitches they have to throw, all the tweaking and fine-tuning that goes into their delivery, their mechanics, how they throw pitches, my preferred strategy is draft a lot of hitters and trade for pitching. Try to get lucky. Pitching should maybe come last in a rebuild. But we also know starting pitching is incredibly important, even when it's being devalued in the sport of baseball right now. So it's a different yet similar strategy from the Royals. Farm system still going to be in relatively rough shape even after this. It might jump up into the, upper 20s instead of the lower 20s in terms of rankings, which isn't a great spot to be for a team that hasn't sniffed the playoffs since 2016, but it's a step in the right direction.
Anybody that you've noticed so far this is the last question before we go to break. Anybody that you noticed so far, were there, or are they a organizational changing type of player like Skeens?
I don't think so.
No.
Bazana at second base is good, probably a major leaguer, but Cleveland's in a pretty good spot right now, somewhat surprisingly. The Reds need more help than just Chase Burns. The Rockies need way more help than just Charlie Condon. The A's need more help than just Nick Kurtz. The White Sox might have found Chris Sale 2.0 in Hagen Smith. His strikeout numbers were through the roof, but that organization is a train wreck right now. And, baseball guys like the NBA, like the NFL, guys can come from anywhere, but really it's the first 5 picks that you're looking for those, franchise changers. Maybe Kaggs is that for the Royals. I'm not necessarily sold. Weatherholt is just going to be, another dude that fell to the Cardinals that's solid in the major leagues for a long time. Christian Moore, we'll see, and then high schoolers. I don't know. I don't feel like there's a Skeens in this draft, and maybe not even in next year's.
There it is. Well, that concludes the first segment. Wow, it just flew by, but that's all good. We've got more in store. We are on the block. It is a Monday once again. We're going to come back and talk a little bit about Oregon and NIL. What's in store? Check it out. Stay here.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
For only $2.99 a day, LES powers life's sweetest moments and keeps all your summer treats icy cold and ready. Learn more at les.com/value.
Man, we sure have had quite a bit of severe weather this spring and summer. Tell me about it. My roof is in shambles. The side of my house has hail damage, and I don't have time to deal with insurance companies right now.
Wait, Rico, you haven't talked to my guys at Coalition Restoration yet? They deal with commercial and residential roofing services, hail damage, and best of all, they'll work with the insurance companies to make your life easier.
Okay, what's the first step?
All you got to do is give them a call today for a free assessment at 402-416-8186. Coalition Restoration in Lincoln and online at coalitionrestoration.com.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL Weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, mainly sunny skies, and it will be very hot. We'll see an afternoon high around 101. Tonight, a slight chance of showers and storms, otherwise partly cloudy with a low around 69. And tomorrow, a slight chance of showers and storms, otherwise mainly sunny with a high around 87. I'm meteorologist Kyle Becker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey guys, it's Bill Bush. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty has opened a new location in Pender, Nebraska, in addition to their office in Lincoln. The real estate world can be confusing, so why wouldn't you want an expert helping you every step of the way? If you're looking to buy or sell farmland in Nebraska, Kansas, or Iowa, give Ethan Sorensen a call today at 402-380-0432 or visit them online at Next nextagrealestate.com. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty with locations in Lincoln and now Pender, Nebraska.
Is it time to replace your AC? Call Bryant and save money in every way. Bryant provides you with solutions that save. Save big immediately with attractive rebates and save every day with lower operating costs. Most important though, the systems are selected to fit you. The right system, priced right, properly installed. That's the way Bryant works for you. How much can you save? Call for a free estimate. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. We do whatever it takes.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
From Major League Baseball to college football here during On the Block. We'll hit some NBA stuff before circling back to college football recruiting. Huskers recruiting update with Brian Munson of Husker Online here in a little bit. Austin Norman, Eric Strickland with you.
There it is.
We're going to look at one of Nebraska's new conference foes, one that Nebraska does not play this year. That's Oregon. Specifically, Oregon's biggest benefactor, biggest donor, guy that probably actually owns the university on the low, Phil Knight. It's being said that he desperately wants a national championship for his alma mater. Reading between the lines, Phil Knight wants to see Oregon win a national championship before he kicks the can. Not to be morbid, but the man is 86 years old. He wants to see Oregon win. He wants to see Oregon win quick. NIL budget through the roof. We know Nike money is not to be messed with. And it seems like it's working at this point. Highly rated transfer class, highly rated recruiting classes. The question is, Strick, we might not be able to see for now. Will it work? Will it be worth it for Phil Knight? Is it about winning or is it about a flex for Phil Knight saying, look, I'm doing everything in my power to win? Why do you think Phil Knight is actually spending all this money? I'm
going to answer the question and then I'm going to have a rhetorical one that I want you to get back to me. So I understand. I get it. The issue with that is, and Sutter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. It's an open question too, because there are a lot of companies out here, and I'm just going to give an example of like Google, right? There's some that would say before Elon Musk took over X, that there was a lot of inefficiencies. So yeah, it was hunky dory, coffee, just high freelance, mini parties, wear what you want. I mean, that's okay for a company to do that, but then in some instances, it creates kind of a laziness, and you don't work as hard as you used to. It creates these mini internal competitions. Who can pee the farthest type of thing. Just these things start happening. It can. I'm not saying it will. I think if you're a coach and you're a staff, you want to put in a lot of, not restrictions, but you definitely want to put some boundaries in place that hopefully would keep them from just having that youth. And I'm saying this from the standpoint is I've been young, young playing
Aren't you
baseball.
still?
I am, but but I'm saying young, like running down Old Street young and at 20, 21. But even though I had money, but having that kind of money yearly, yeah, you get a bonus, but you got to stretch the bonus. It's not a continuation of that. Yes, I think still NIL has to, in some form, have contracts to them. Because if you don't perform up to your contract, we don't have to perform up to the pavement. That's
Right.
the way I would say it, right? So I think if that stuff is built in, it can be okay. But I've always found that outside of baseball, I think if you look at the richest programs or the richest organizations that pay the biggest dollar doesn't always get the biggest best result. So these guys got to come together, gel together. They're looking at each other in a competitive manner. And sometimes it's not about the win, it's about the bag. And if the mentality only becomes about the bag and not the win, then it's not going to work. So my question then, I'm going to let you answer, but then my question would be to you. There are other universities that have billionaire types or 100 millionaire types. Does this move inspire them to jump in and start that at a Georgia or at a Florida State, or they're like looking at Phil Knight like, wait a minute now, maybe I need to get in the game? Or are they going to wait and see how the payout? If you're a good businessman, to be honest, I'm waiting. I'm gonna watch and see what it does, and then I might jump into the game. But yeah, answer your question to mine first, and then
Georgia's unconcerned. Georgia's unconcerned. As far as Georgia cares, they're still at the top of the college football landscape, right? Obviously, they didn't win the national title last year, but Georgia feels that it should have been in the playoff, right? Essentially, one bad game tripped it up, kept it out of the playoff, and they feel good about the operation they have rolling. Georgia has enough money. Leading the country money? Maybe, maybe not. But Georgia should feel fine. Ohio State has already entered that, right? Ryan Day said, we need $13 million per year to build this roster out. So we know Ohio State is in the game. Alabama, we'll see. Clemson doesn't necessarily seem like it. A&M played that game already. Has played that game quite a bit.
That's
consistently.
A good example.
Michigan, up in the air right now. I guess we'll see. So I'm going to say that some people will be moved. Some people won't. Depends on how competitive they are and depends on how they view NIL. I'm sure there are plenty of boosters who are doing because they're excited about it. There's a new way for me to give a new name spot for my name on a building or whatever. But I'm sure there are others like, I'm not sold about this, right? Can we go back to the old way? I want to keep giving. I don't know if this is necessarily the way that I want to do this. Some will be moved to do it. Others won't. But let me ask you this question then, Strick. Is it healthy for Oregon and specifically a young coach in Dan Lanning to have this much financial backing? The reason I ask is obviously talent helps you win. Talent itself doesn't win. Seems like Lanning's a good coach, but doesn't just take players to win games. You need a combination of everything going on. Or if you're Dan Lanning, would you rather have Phil Knight spend this money now? Or would you rather Phil Knight continue to invest over time, whether it's in facilities or players, and use his money to buy you patience? You're in a transition into a new league. It doesn't always go as smoothly as you might like. If I'm a young head coach and I have no designs on coaching for a long time, on the one hand, sure, I appreciate the infusion of cash right now and all the players, but I would almost maybe recommend taking a longer term look, knowing that, hey, Phil's not going to be around forever. I would rather his money buy me time to get this rolling. Trust in my abilities to recruit, my abilities to adapt to this new league, because I feel like this infusion of cash, really quick, win now, it sounds great, but guess what? A&M tried that. Didn't go well for them.
Clippers tried that.
Clippers are a great example with Ballmer out there on the West Coast, right? I'm glad you went across sports, because as soon as you start spending all this money, the expectation is
Phoenix tried that.
Phoenix, right? The expectation is win now,
win now, or else.
See,
that's what I was gonna go to,
right?
For Lanning. So yeah. I love what you said, Austin. No, I'm gonna let you finish.
That's what I got.
I'm just loving what you said, because that's absolutely right. It puts a target on me, no pun intended, but it puts the onus on me, because there's nothing excuse built in. I gave you what you wanted. I put every player that you could ask for in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're just not the person to coach him.
Right.
Within a couple of years.
Forgetting how hard it is to win a national title.
Right.
And even harder now in a 12-team playoff.
Right. There it is. And that's the way I feel about it, man. I think, like you said, I would, and that's why I'm asking. Sutter Heyman text line 402-464-5685. Would you rather buy the talent or buy the time? TNT. It's either going to blow up or you're going to be able to clip the right wire so that you don't blow up. But one or the other, it's TNT.
Mm-hmm.
Talent or time? Which one are you buying? That's what I want to know from y'all.
And I think it depends on the program. I really do. A place like Kansas or Kansas State on the come up, those are places that invest in time and patience, right? But maybe if you think you have the right coach, now you go spend to bring in talent.
What is Northwestern? You know what I'm saying?
That's a talent thing, I would say.
They would probably need to invest more in talent and facilities. So they got kind of
Stricky. Their practice facility, it's on Lake Michigan. It's elite.
Yeah.
They just tore down their stadium to build a new one. And we know it's not a power program. They stuck with Pat Fitzgerald through a lot of really lean years. Northwestern is a patient program. Invest money in talent.
Yeah.
Go get yourself some players. Oregon won't ever have trouble attracting players. Cool program, lots of money there, young coach, sweet uniforms, power conference. Oregon needs to invest in like fire trucks, right? If the fan base pops up, it gets greedy, douse some water on, right? Go hook up to the fire hydrant, spray the hose on, and like, hey guys, it's hard to win a national championship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Different programs need to go spend more on talent.
Yeah.
That's the boat I think Nebraska's in. Pretty, all things considered, as rabid as the fan base is, I think they're willing to be patient. Think about how long it took Tom Osborne to win a national championship after he took over for Devaney. Yeah, he almost left a couple times, but guess what? You stayed the course with him. He stayed the course with you. It worked out. It's hard to get the dream ending, right? Like T.O. did at Nebraska. But even in this day and age where you're not going to see guys stick around for 20 years without a natty, you're not going to see many guys stick around for 10 without a natty. And there's some really good football coaches, that maybe just can't win the big one. Shoot, Clemson and Dabo. How quick would Dabo be gone if Clemson, started Clemsoning now?
Yeah.
It's a different day and time, but there's something to be said for investing in patience and time. When you have a coach that you believe in, give him time, he'll most likely get it all put together.
Well, that's what you were able to do before we go to break. You were able to do that with Tom Osborne because Tom Osborne initially was given the grace, given the time, still had the talent, but there was areas of deficiency in the talent that he then invested in going to certain areas to get top level talent, speed. Knew he was lacking in that area in speed and athleticism and, yes, line always, strong, physical, always. Nebraska, to me, in the earlier Tom Osborne was the Michigan, or your Michigan States or those types, strong, physical, Iowas, just run it, beat you in the breaks in the trenches.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get to that bowl game against one of those speed demon type of teams, you just couldn't handle it.
Right.
So he did that, and that was the culmination of the both coming together without NIL, obviously. So
that we know of.
Whoever can create that good balance, you would say, would probably have the most success in this time frame to be able to have a little combination of both.
I would agree.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at with it. Let's put a bow on hour one of the show next, get into Jalen Brunson's contract, and then a Husker football recruiting update with Brian Munson after this.
Right now at Planet Fitness, you can get everything you need for just $1 down. And I mean everything. Top-tier equipment? Check. 24-hour access? You bet. Free fitness training? Always. Workouts in the free PF app? What'd I tell you? Even super friendly team members.
Hey, welcome to Planet Fitness.
Oh, hey. I was just mentioning you.
Hey.
Join Planet Fitness today and get everything you need for just $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends Thursday, July 18th. See Home Club for details.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
and Electrical.
Hey, Husker Nation, Matt Davison here with 1890. It's an exciting time to be a Husker fan, and to keep that momentum going, we need your help. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics, and we're doing the same through name, image, and likeness. NIL is a unique opportunity for every Husker fan to have a direct impact on the success of our programs. Through 1890, 100% of your contribution goes to the student athletes. So go to 1890nebraska.com, choose your sport, become a member, and help the Huskers recruit and retain the best. Go Big Red.
Man, we sure have had quite a bit of severe weather this spring and summer.
Tell me about it. My roof is in shambles. The side of my house has hail damage, and I don't have time to deal with insurance companies right now.
Wait, Rico, you haven't talked to my guys at Coalition Restoration yet? They deal with commercial and residential roofing services, hail damage, and best of all, they'll work with the insurance companies to make your life easier.
Okay, what's the first step?
All you got to do is give them a call today for a free assessment at 402-416-8186. Coalition Restoration in Lincoln and online at coalitionrestoration.com.
Your child was embarrassed when you arrived at their basketball game. 75% of parents or guardians report current alcohol use. Drinking alcohol can cause harm to children and loved ones. By drinking less, your child will be excited to see you at their basketball game. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Without a strong IT partner, your business ends up overspending, underperforming, wearing too many hats, complicating your work, and more. Applied Connective Technologies can help with experts in every facet of technology. If it plugs in, powers on, or charges up, they're your people. Imagine being able to call one team for all your technology solutions rather than a village of vendors and providers. For all your needs in managed IT and cybersecurity, phone systems, physical security, infrastructure, and audio or video, head to appliedconnective.com to better your business today.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Prodigy Baseball Academy, Lincoln's premier baseball program, is excited to partner with the #1 national youth and high school program to offer a larger player development program with a national network for tournaments and recruiting. Prodigy Baseball has been nominated several years by the Lincoln Choice Awards for outstanding dedication to youth baseball. Come see the USA Prime Prodigy difference. For a full listing of tryouts and to learn more about USA Prime Prodigy, check them out on Facebook at Lincoln Prodigy Baseball or at lincolnprodigybaseball.com. USA Prime Prodigy is excited to announce the tryouts for the upcoming season. Prodigy Baseball is where players in Lincoln go to receive player development, a competitive tournament schedule, and incredible family atmosphere. USA Prime Prodigy will be hosting tryouts July 14th through the 16th at 6 p.m. at Optimus Sports Complex for ages 7 to 14. Jalen Wordley, Caleb Clark, and Mason McConaughey from Husker Baseball will be there to sign autographs and talk to the youth. Tryouts start on July 14th at 6 p.m. Learn more at LincolnProdigybaseball.com. The next generation of Huskers starts now. Join the official Kids Club of Nebraska Athletics today to score access to select home games, a discount at the team store, and endless Husker spirit. The free JV team gets you started with a game credential. Upgrade to the $35 Lil Huskers membership for a welcome box and VIP Lil Huskers experiences. Fuel your Husker spirit. Join the Kids Club today at huskers.com/kidsclub. Go Big Red.
Get ready, Husker fans. The Big Red preview is coming soon. Join us Saturday night, August 3rd, for an exclusive look at your Nebraska football team in action. Experience the excitement, the energy, the sights and sounds of a game day as the 2024 football season kicks off. Visit huskers.com/tickets and bring your family, friends, and all your Big Red pride to Memorial Stadium Saturday night, August 3rd. That's huskers.com/tickets. Brought to you by Husker Athletics and 1890 Nebraska. Winning tradition, future success.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yes. We are back. Closing in on the hour. We ain't going to hold you too long, but it's all good. We got a few more things to chat about, and obviously the one thing we want to talk about is what's really going on with Jalen. I think when we first looked at the contract, when we first dug into it a little bit, we thought that the New York Knicks got a steal. I think it seemed that way earlier. I think it's smart on Jalen Brunson's part that he took it the way that he took it, allowed them to step up. And is he a crystal ball guy? Is he a guy that just kind of was sitting there over the crystal ball and he was envisioning, okay, TV rights coming, deals coming. By the time this is over, I'll hit another one. Like DJ Khaled, another one. I'm just speculating. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. But Woj threw something out there. I'll talk briefly, and then I'm going to let Austin jump in on this conversation as well as you guys on the Sutter Heyman text line. But Woj says, in a largely unprecedented financial concession to give roster flexibility to a contender, the New York Knicks star Jalen Brunson has agreed to a 4-year, $156.5 million extension. His agent, Sam Rose, boy, I would have loved to be Sam Rose right now, of CAA tells ESPN, $113 million less than he's able to receive. So it looks good, but is it really good?
We'll see. There's some other numbers that I want to throw out when we get back for hour 2. But the important piece for now is that Jalen Brunson said they took a look at what Tom Brady did and what Patrick Mahomes did as a model for this. Derek Jeter, I think, was also thrown in there. But I think that's less relevant, the Derek Jeter one, because no salary cap in baseball.
Yeah.
But when you look at the NFL, right, we know salary cap's malleable. They're less malleable now in the NBA with the different aprons and all the punishments for those. For Jalen Brunson to take less, even if it ends up being more in the long run, which we'll get to in hour 2, I think it's a great show of leadership to take less money now, especially for a coach like this in Thibodeau, who works his guys hard, runs them into the ground, right? To take less in a profession where any day could be your last, right? Maybe not Jalen Brunson, right, with his pedigree and the way he's playing right now, but it's still a competitive business and industry. So taking less at any point for the good of the team, because you have your buddies there, you want to make sure they all get paid as well. I think it's a great sign of leadership, and it's a big bet on Jalen Brunson himself of making that money back later.
Wow.
Talk more in hour 2?
More in hour 2. I'm just befuddled, if that's even a word.
You nailed it. Love a good befuddlement.
Man, it just threw my mind into a twister. But we're going to dig deeper into it as we come back for the second hour. It is On the Block, 93.7 Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Is it time to replace your AC? Call Bryant and save money in every way. Bryant provides you with solutions that save. Save big immediately with attractive rebates, and save every day with lower operating costs. Most important, though, the systems are selected to fit you. The right system, priced right, properly installed. That's the way Bryant works for you. How much can you save? Call for a free estimate. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. We do whatever it takes.
Hey guys, it's Bill Bush. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty has opened a new location in Pender, Nebraska, in addition to their office in Lincoln. The real estate world can be confusing, so why wouldn't you want an expert helping you every step of the way? If you're looking to buy or sell farmland in Nebraska, Kansas, or Iowa, give Ethan Sorensen a call today at 402-380-0432 or visit them online at nextagrealestate.com. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty with locations in Lincoln and now Pender, Nebraska.
For only $2.99 a day, LES powers life's sweetest moments and keeps all your summer treats icy cold and ready. Learn more at les.com/value.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Problem gambling affects millions of Americans daily, of all ages and walks of life. If your loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
Prodigy Baseball Academy, Lincoln's premier baseball program, is excited to partner with the #1 national youth and high school program to offer a larger player development program with a national network for tournaments and recruiting. Prodigy Baseball has been nominated several years by the Lincoln Choice Awards for outstanding dedication to youth baseball. Come see the USA Prime Prodigy difference. For a full listing of tryouts and to learn more about USA Prime Prodigy, check them out on Facebook at Lincoln Prodigy Baseball or at LincolnProdigyBaseball.com. USA Prime Prodigy is excited to announce the tryouts for the upcoming season. Prodigy Baseball is where players in Lincoln go to receive player development, a competitive tournament schedule, and incredible family atmosphere. USA Prime Prodigy will be hosting tryouts July 14th through the 16th at 6 p.m. at Optimus Sports Complex for ages 7 to 14. Jalen Wordley, Caleb Clark, and Mason McConaughey from Husker Baseball will be there to sign autographs and talk to the youth. Tryouts start on July 14th at 6 p.m. Learn more at LincolnProdigyBaseball.com.
Are you looking to upgrade your farm equipment? You're in luck. Acres, your premier John Deere dealer, recently dropped its prices on select late model tractors, combines, planters, and sprayers. Trade in your old equipment today and get never-before-seen discounts that can save you over $100,000. With great financing options and our A-plus support, there's no better time to upgrade. Visit your local Acres store or see the huge savings at acres.com. That's AKRS.com to see the best prices in the nation.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Get ready, Husker fans. The Big Red Preview is coming soon. Join us Saturday night, August 3rd, for an exclusive look at your Nebraska football team in action. Experience the excitement, the energy, the sights and sounds of a game day as the 2024 football season kicks off. Visit Huskers.com/tickets and bring your family, friends, and all your Big Red pride to Memorial Stadium, Saturday night, August 3rd. That's Huskers.com/tickets. Brought to you by Husker Athletics and 1890 Nebraska. Winning tradition, future success.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! You're going to go out of here as the Big Eight tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NIPCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Welcome back. Hour 2 of the show, 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. If you're tapped in on the radio dial, let us know. If you're tapped in on Facebook, leave us a comment on Facebook. We'll see it there. YouTube as well. Who are our radio people? Who are our app people? You can send us a text as well. Who are our stream people? We'd love to know the breakdown, where you're watching or listening to us from. 402-464-5685. Big thanks to Starter Heyman Jewelers for sponsoring both the video stream and the text line. We'll go to our Aloe Fiber VIP line here in just a little bit. Have a Nebraska football recruiting conversation with Brian Munson of Husker Online. Lot in the news for Nebraska. Big commitment recently. And we talked about the Mosey news with Rico at the end of the happy hour. Want Brian's take on that. I'm Austin Norman. He's Eric Strickland. We're going to talk some NBA here in this segment, though. We just tipped off, I should say, the conversation about Jalen Brunson in his extension. 4-year extension, $113 million less than the max he could have taken. And Strick, that's just unheard of in the modern NBA. When you think of the player empowerment era, of the players pushing for a bigger piece of the pie, for superstars getting more and more of the pie, right? Jason Tatum and his $70 million, Jaylen Brown and his $60 million. It's obscene how big some of these supermax contracts can get. Jalen Brunson wouldn't have been supermax eligible, but he still could have gotten the max. And he took basically 60% of it. We just don't see that in the modern NBA.
Yeah, it's very unusual. And there's something that a lot of players haven't done that in its recent past. When we just talked about a couple of them. We've talked about, like you said, some of the great ones that have done it for reason. And I think the commonality for understanding the reason for why you do something like that is what we had talked about in winning. Winning brings championships, or it puts you at the top of the league, or it's always you're vying for it, or you're playing for it, or you're in the mix for it. And that then puts you in the money. There's a lot of people on bad teams that can do a lot of great things. Yeah, you're going to make your money. There's individuals like James Harden that just really don't care about the win or the championship. And that's fine. That's okay. If you can still play and you feel that you can get the job done. I think he's really believing he's playing a long game, right? He's basically saying, one, the Knicks haven't been as relevant or even as close. The closest that they've probably come in its recent past is Carmelo Anthony. And it wasn't even there. Porzingis couldn't get them there. He could be a Knicks icon if he's able to be the leader of this team. Julius Randle couldn't get it done. No one's been able to. If he can get it there in an Eastern Conference, he feels that I'm going to play this long game, that there will be a back-end reward.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of the direction he's going.
Do you like the long-term vision, or do you think they need to go all in New York to win right now?
Well, I think after assessing what now the TV rights deal, you kind of get an understanding of what it's going to look like. Right. I think before that, that's not a judgment decision that you can make. But I think the aftermath of it, you now have an opportunity to kind of play a longer game where you know where things would stand, where you know percentages of raise, when you know what cap availabilities are going to be measured at.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I think that's I think it's pretty wise. I mean, shout out to CAA and his agent, and I know he gets wise counsel, and him and his dad are close as well, Rick Brunson, and so I think there's a lot there just to consider and think about. Now, I'm going to be honest. I mean, I would probably want to backload mine too. If I'm really looking at it and we can't get it done, I'm thinking about where can I move to really get it. What team is next up or close, in a little better market space that I can really get the fullness of, because that money's not going to be what that money is in New York. It's just not going to be.
No, right. We talked about with the taxes all the time, how much you actually see. But is it smart for Jalen Brunson to backload with a coach like Tom Thibodeau, who's going to play a lot of minutes, right? Isn't that a coach that you might want to front load for?
I mean, that's a smart thing. Yeah, Tibbs is definitely going to put doggy years on your body. I mean, with the way that they get after it and play and practice and the style and so forth and so on. Tibbs is not fully in the Van Gundy. He's a Van Gundy tutelage, but he's not fully invested totally in the way that Van Gundy is. He does keep a small roster. It's just not a locked 7. You understand?
Yeah.
Like with Van Gundy, it was a locked 7. And with now, he can do it a little bit better than we could have back then, because you just didn't have as many. You know, they don't have as many back-to-backs as they used to. There's some off time. There's some load management, ways that you can put that in there without having to hurt anybody's opportunities for awards and stuff like that. But so there's games you can throw in there to kind of mitigate that some. But for me, you're right. I mean, I think that's something that you could also look at. But for some reason, he feels that it's a workable deal for him to look at.
Some other interesting kind of numbers here on Jalen Brunson. So this is from Yossi Goslin on Twitter. Yossi, who works with capsheets.com. He says Jalen Brunson isn't giving up $113 million. There's a pathway for him to make it up. 5-year max from 25 to 30 is 5 years, $269 million. So essentially the contract he could have signed. 3-year maximum extension plus first 2 years of a max contract in 2028, 5 years, $263 million. So like you said, he's taking this extension now, getting enough money, right? More money than he's seen before. But the salary cap's just going to keep going up.
Yeah.
When's the last time the salary cap dipped outside of COVID? It doesn't go down.
Yeah.
That's not how pro sports work. And this then comes from Div B on Twitter, who says, really, this is Brunson giving up $37 million for 3 seasons, which is big for the Knicks to build around him. So he can then hit free agency as a 10-year vet to potentially make $81 million a year. $81 million a year.
Man, bro.
By pushing this off just a few years. Again, disaster notwithstanding here.
Hoping no injury. Yeah, you're making a bet
on yourself that you will make $81 million per year. Woo. Wow.
Yeah, it is definitely a wow. I hope it works out for him, because I actually like him. I think,
and
he's been very humble. He's been durable. His body's built for it. It's just a matter of, can his game style adjust? Does he have the size to make the adjustment? Because right now he banks on physicality, changes of speed, not a whole bunch of shiftiness.
And that age is better.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So where can his adjustment be? Because is he going to be able to create space the way that he does now, after that time? So that those are things you're going to have to assess. Like you could see the progression of Michael Jordan's game, super athletic, mid-range king, kept that, added a little bit more handle because there were some deficiencies there. Then goes to post game towards the tail end, like mid-post, I'm hurting you here. It's creating opportunities for my team. I'm still working in transition. Still can jump, but and be athletic. You saw that when he was with the Wizards. He could still do things, but just not to the same tune. So I just can't. I'm trying to envision how Jalen Brunson's game's going to elevate. Maybe Rico can No, Rico's not going to know. He's going to be super biased.
Is Brunson a good enough ball handler to eventually downshift the usage and run point?
And see, that's the thing. I mean, I think he has a strong handle. It's not Kyrie Irving-ish. It's not to that level. But I think he has a strong handle. I think he understands angles really well. Change of speed with angles and a strong body can get you a long way in the league. But yeah, I think he can definitely transition to a point runner.
Could he be like new age Raymond Felton?
I think he'll be better than that, but I understand where you're going.
Yeah.
I understand where you're going. I think that's something. Yeah, I can see where your head is on that. Raymond Felton got big, though.
He did. And Brunson's not big. He's stocky right now. I don't think Brunson's ever going to look like that. But
Raymond got very pudgy.
To his credit, though, he did play 82 games the second to last year in the league at that size.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And 80 the previous two.
Yeah.
So
he was durable. maybe that Pillsbury that Pillsbury Doughboy helped out a little bit, taking some of the brunt of that stuff, you know.
The other aspect that I think we need to address here with Jalen Brunson is, what does it mean for Julius Randle? Taking less money leads me to believe Jalen Brunson thinks Julius Randle is going to be around. We know Randle's getting paid, but we've also seen stars make power plays, right? Jalen Brunson could have said, Julius Randle was your guy. He got you here, but I'm the guy now. Commit to me with all the money is what he could have done. Yeah. By taking less, it tells me that he's okay with Julius Randle being around, maybe as a running mate.
Okay. I can accept it. But here's the question I throw back at you. Last 2 years, you had an early exit. He didn't play very well. Then you make a run, a good strong run, gave some fits. Injuries is really the only thing that pretty much hindered you.
Right.
So you were already without him, but you made a run without him. Do you feel that with Julius Randle, he could get you over the hump in the East?
I don't.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Which is where...
That's where I'm at. So that's why I'm like, why would you?
I don't love it, but I'm just saying, if the Knicks don't make any moves, Jalen Brunson has to be okay with Julius Randle making that much money and still being around. What I do...
I'm not going to give him a long term.
No, absolutely not.
And if he doesn't accept the short term, then okay.
But my bigger point with all of that is Jalen Brunson taking less money means that if they trade Julius Randle, they can trade him for another superstar. Because right now, Julius Randle, his cap hit for 24-25 is going to be $28.9 million. He still has 1 year left on his contract. It's a player option, which for $30.1 million, why are you opting out of that? You're probably not going to get more than that. So either Jalen Brunson is okay with Julius Randle, making more money than he is and still being around or comparable money, or Jalen Brunson sees the writing on the wall that New York's building around him, not Julius Randle anymore, that Randle's a trade chip. They can create a lot of room if Brunson takes less and Randle's out the door. And that's the way New York goes and gets a second, headlining star instead of having to do it through free agency.
Well, with the aprons, that's the only way you would have to send out less than what you'd have to send out more
than what you get back.
Mm-hmm. So you're not going to get a higher tier than him because my question then would be, who's out there?
That is the question.
That would be the question. Or do you envision in that time frame something coming out, but you're going to be too good that you're probably not going to get to him?
Right.
So I don't see the pathway. Now, what type of player, and something I throw to you, because I can't really see it with their style right now, the way that they're playing. They have a lot of guys that do a lot of different things uniquely, right? They're uniquely gifted. I think they play well together for the reasons why they went with who they went with. But give me an example. Not saying that this can happen, but give me a picture of someone that you think with the style that they're looking to play right now would be a good fit for that New York Knicks team. And just a thought.
Tim Duncan.
A Tim Duncan type?
Tim Duncan type. Knicks aren't very big. Brunson's going to dominate the ball. If Randall's around, excuse me, he's going to take his fair share of shots. Excuse me again. So they need a big man that has the ability to score, but doesn't necessarily demand the ball.
Right.
That can kick it out. That's a rim protector. Like Mitchell Robinson's good enough. He's fine, but he's also not necessarily well-rounded. He's a lob threat rim runner, which you need. But I think the Knicks could use an inside scoring presence, like a traditional guy, as a changeup from all their wings and guards. And they're going to need just some size when you get to the playoffs, right? And you go against Giannis, and you go against Embiid, you go against Porzingis. Those are three very different players, but they're all taller than what the Knicks have right now. So a low-maintenance, decent offensive, well-rounded big man, I think, finishes the Knicks.
So here's my thing. Do you try to go after a Jared Allen type?
I try to talk the Cavs into Jarrett Allen and try to get Mobley.
They're not going to give up Mobley.
I know they're not, but I think he's better for New York.
Saying, but Jarrett Allen's a guy who does all the dirty stuff. You're saying somebody that doesn't need to score, does all the dirty, but can. He can. He's not as gifted scoring as like a Tim Duncan, but yes, you would want Mobley if you can get, but I just don't envision them saying, oh, that's going to work. I think they could do because you're comparable as far as size, but you get a better ability, but you don't get the dual, but that may not be what you're looking for. So a Jared Allen swap, because Jared's only making 20 million. So you're sending out more, taking in less. It fits your apron of a Jared Allen type. I don't know.
You can't have Allen and Robinson on the same team. It's too redundant. You're not going to play them together.
No,
I don't think so. Neither one of them stretches the floor consistently enough.
But it looks to me that, well, yeah, because
I think the big man that they get should be the second option offensively. If you're sending Julius Randle out, because he's the second option offensively right now, I think Mikal Bridges is good in the third role. I think that's ideal for him.
Yeah.
So the post guy that you get back would be your second option offensively, as I envision it.
So basically, you're asking for Paolo Banchero.
Paolo would be the 2 in New York, but I think he thinks of himself as a 1.
Paolo?
Yeah.
He thinks he's I see what you're saying.
Like
he thinks he's the number guy.
First off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't need a Melo because that's going to take too many shots. You pretty much have that in Randall, though he'll play a little bit of defense and the bag isn't as deep. But I really think just size goes a long way for New York because it's a lot of wings right now. And I love me some wings, but that's a tall Eastern Conference with dominant big men.
Yeah, I just can't. I can't
picture a guy like that.
Picture a guy. And
that's the problem.
That's what's crazy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the dilemma that they're going to find themselves in ultimately when it comes down to it. You know, but it could just ultimately end up being what you just said is keep Julius around. He's got his option. If I'm him, I don't give up that option, to be honest.
No.
But I can't see anybody right now. You know who I could see?
Who you got?
Şengün from Houston.
I like that.
Him.
I like that because you have so many good defenders to cover for him. You can take his limitations and amplify him offensively.
Yeah, that's
that.
the fit for me.
I like that.
Okay, we good. At least we found something.
Look at us. We just talk through it. We end up somewhere every time. Let's take a break. Let's get Brian Munson of Husker Online on the Horn Husker football recruiting update when we get back to On the Block.
Hey, Husker Nation, Matt Davison here with 1890. It's an exciting time to be a Husker fan, and to keep that momentum going, we need your help. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics, and we're doing the same through name, image, and likeness. NIL is a unique opportunity for every Husker fan to have a direct impact on the success of our programs. Through 1890, 100% of your contribution goes to the student athletes. So go to 1890nebraska.com, choose your sport, become a member, and help the Huskers recruit and retain the best. Go Big Red.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
and electrical.
Farm equipment, you're in luck. Acres, your premier John Deere dealer, recently dropped its prices on select late model tractors, combines, planters, and sprayers. Trade in your old equipment today and get never before seen discounts that can save you over $100,000. With great financing options and our A+ support, there's no better time to upgrade. Visit your local Acres store or see the huge savings at acres.com. That's AKRS.com to see the best prices in the nation.
Everyone should have a collection of something. For some, it's stamps or coins, expensive cars, or even watches. But for a lot of people, it's sports cards. And there's no better way to grow your collection than with the help of Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's first and only collector-first sports cards and memorabilia shop. Capital City Sports Cards connects collectors of all ages and demographics with unique collectibles sure to bring any collection to life, no matter the budget. Visit Capital City Sports Cards near 56th and Old Cheney or through their eBay storefront. Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's premier sports card and memorabilia store.
Without a strong IT partner, your business ends up overspending, underperforming, wearing too many hats, complicating your work, and more. Applied Connective Technologies can help with experts in every facet of technology. If it plugs in, powers on, or charges up, they're your people. Imagine being able to call one team for all your technology solutions rather than a village of vendors and providers. For all your needs in managed IT and cybersecurity, phone systems, physical security, infrastructure, and audio or video, head to appliedconnective.com to better your business today.
NEPCO is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. NEPCO offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From NEPCO's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back on the block. Austin Norman and Eric Strickland. As promised, we turn our attention to our VIP line brought to you by Allo Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. Welcome Brian Munson of Husker Online here, Texas's finest. Brian, did you know you had company down there this weekend?
I had company?
That's right, my boy, Stricky. Stricky popped in, man. I was on the north side, Addison.
Oh, were you really? And you didn't even bother to call?
I know,
B. Munson.
I snuck in. I literally booked the ticket, Brian, on Thursday. It was either Thursday or Wednesday night because Spud Webb had a birthday party and a couple other friends.
Dropping on me.
Man, I snuck in, hit it real quick, paused, and got out of there.
Well, it's pretty warm.
It's warm. It is absolutely warm. Boy. Woo.
Yeah, I was just discussing that with another person right leading up to this call. I was like, we've not seen an ounce of a drop of rain since the Tuesday after Memorial Day.
Yeah.
And we had a really, really, really nice spring, lots of water. The lakes are all up to normal, but like we were all like, dude, once June hits, man, you ain't gonna see this again. And it was totally true. I mean, it won't rain again until October.
Wow.
And my yard looks
Dry.
terrible.
That thing is
just
thirsty.
burned up.
It's over there. It's
Dude,
parched.
between that and my AC, the birds are panting down here. I mean, that's how hot it is.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, Brian, speaking of getting in and getting out, like Strick did in Dallas, Jamar Mosey into UCF and then right back out. What happened with that situation? How was Nebraska able to hire him away after he was at UCF for all of 5 months?
Well, I mean, first of all, Coach Mosey's record at Lee Summit North speaks for itself. He's a very successful high school head coach in the Kansas City area. I think what this says to me about Matt Rule making this hire is that he's getting very serious about wanting to be, better at getting players to come out of the Kansas City area to come to Lincoln. Coach Mosey can absolutely, help out in that regard. I mean, first of all, he has a 4-star wide receiver son, at Lee Summit North right now, Isaiah Mosey, that happened to come in for an official visit the second to last weekend in the month of June. I think it was the 14th. And he's committed to Oregon currently. And we could never really, first of all, we could never get Isaiah on the phone to talk about it. I don't think anybody could. And secondly, we really couldn't explain it either. But I think we got some explanation now that, that his father's decided to change from Orlando to Lincoln. I think that this is a big move for Coach Rule. I think that, one of the things I have noticed in kind of watching the offers, in watching where the commitments are kind of coming from, a year ago, there were 5, 6, 7 kids from Texas. Well, Nebraska just got their second commitment out of 16 from the state of Texas, last week or this weekend. So that's pretty telling. I think that, I think Nebraska wants to be way more serious about being successful within the radius. I think that they see that Kansas City is a little bit more of an open market, clearly, because, Missouri's in Columbia, and usually Oklahoma has a lot of pull, coming from Norman. Why can't Nebraska have that pull? I think that Nebraska is really trying to be more successful there. And I think that you and I, and everybody can kind of agree that there's been a lot of influential players, and a lot of players have had a lot of success and led Nebraska to success that come from the Kansas City and Missouri area in general.
What's led to Nebraska's lack of success in Kansas City? Is it just not being successful in the field? Is it a lack of engagement and involvement down there? Why is Kansas City recruiting slipped for the Huskers?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, I think Bill Bush was on his way to having success, in the Kansas City market before kind of the rug got pulled out from underneath everyone. I think KC, it's got its ups and its downs. It's got some players that, that typically are very tied into going to Oklahoma, or Notre Dame typically has its way to get in there. Heck, Oregon, as of late, has had a chance to come in there to Kansas City area and grab guys out of it too. I think it comes down to consistency, and I think it comes down to just a lack of having like a real connection to the market. And I think that that's a similar deal like when it comes to Texas. I think it's a similar deal like when it comes to Florida. Nebraska came in pretty loaded up with guys that knew their way around Texas. They had a couple of guys that knew their way around Florida. They didn't really have the keys, however, to the Midwest. And I think the one area where, you've got to have somebody there that's a little bit recognizable, somebody that knows, some people in the market, it's going to be Kansas City. I think St. Louis is tough, just because of its location and how close it is to Columbia. I think it is a little bit more in the SEC's backyard. I think Ohio State has a much better time too, also cherry picking, St. Louis rather than, they do going to Kansas City. You're 3 hours down the road. You're 3 hours down the road. So you can definitely go down to Kansas City. I think it'd be way more relevant than what you have been recently in past years.
Better late than never to get back down there. But Brian, it kind of feels like a missed opportunity for Nebraska, over the last 5, 6, you can say however many more years given your expertise, but with Kansas State and Kansas on the come up, Missouri turning into a power player in the Midwest. It seems like the time for Nebraska to strike that iron would have been a handful of years ago, instead of, trying to get in to Kansas City at the same time as three of the programs that are even closer than you are also rapidly improving.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. I mean, I think Nebraska, is going to wish, as they do make this very, important hire, that they wish that they had a little bit more going on for it, a little bit more entrenched in the area. And they don't have that. They've recently gotten some guys out of there, not gonna lie, but it's, I think the misses in particular this year, the Jack Lang, the Dawson Merritt, those kinds of guys that I think Nebraska really felt like they had a pretty decent shot of bringing them up to Lincoln that they just ended up losing out on. And I think obviously if you did, like back to Strick and I's days, Kansas City Rockhurst was the name that you always followed in the USA Today, because they were always sitting in the top 10 for one of the top, high school programs in the nation. That power is kind of shifted out, from that area, but Lee Summit North has been, one of the better teams in the Kansas City area. And of course, Mose being the former head coach from there, it helps out. It helps out to have ties back to that high school specifically. They've turned out some really excellent players over the last 3 years. Most of those guys have visited Nebraska, and I think they're doing the right thing. I think Nebraska's doing the right thing. I think, to your point, timing here is maybe a little bit off, but better late than never.
Brian Munson of Husker Online, our guest here on our Allo VIP line. You mentioned a commitment from Texas, Brian. It's the second Bryson in the 2025 class for Nebraska. Bryson Hayes from Kansas in the class, but Nebraska adds Bryson Weber, cornerback out of Texas. What's the down low on him?
Yeah, Bryson Weber was getting a lot of pressure to take a look around. I mean, he might have been close to committing to Nebraska the week before, and then obviously the news broke on Coach Cooper resigning from Nebraska, and I think it really, obviously that's a position coach for him. It's a coach that's really ran point for him in his recruitment, so it required him to go ahead and press pause. There's a lot of programs that we're still trying to find a way in, and he still had schools like Utah and Baylor. I mean, that's a team right now that very quietly is doing very well in the state of Texas. I mean, they just picked up a commitment from Taz Williams out of Red Oak yesterday. So, I think that this is a good get for Nebraska. I think he's a talented guy that can play the boundary corner position. He's long, like 6'2", 6'2.5". I think he's also a player that, with that length and the ability to be kind of a great open field tackler, rolling back to safety really isn't that huge of a stretch. So I think they still are looking for those versatile guys. And I was kind of interested to see, once Coach Butler got there, to see how things would kind of start taking shape, and I think it's really going to happen like with the 2026 and 2027 guys. Like we've seen it with Coach Thomas, right? They've kind of reloaded the targets, at the quarterback position. I could see the same thing kind of happening, with Coach Butler now, having a chance maybe to kind of get into some film and take a look at some guys and maybe make some new offers. Maybe we'll hear about a couple of those guys here at the end of the month of July, maybe into the first 3 home games, that are really nice times to bring some players in. But I think that this is a really good get from Nebraska. Obviously still hitting the Houston area and staying relevant down there is still huge. It's just not a lot of Texas guys, but the Texas guys that Nebraska has this year in Simpson and Weber are very important to this class.
So, hey, Brian, one thing I'm going to throw out, and it's because of the recruiting, and it's something that really can't be tracked right now. I mean, we do have some examples out there. There are some ways to kind of view it, but I'd love your perspective on it, because Oregon football has done something. And as we spoke about Oregon and with some of the recruits there and
yep.
There's a reason why they're going. And Phil Knight is basically all in it to win it. He's throwing NIL at everyone and everybody. Everybody can get it. He is the Oprah of NIL right now, basically. You get a car, everyone gets a car, right? But he's doing this in the Big Ten. Things haven't, obviously changed. This is going to be their first year in. but he's basically all in it to win it. What is your perspective on that methodology of attacking, trying to pay to win it all?
Yeah. My initial thought, because obviously we've not seen a long enough run here, I think, to draw, a big conclusion. But if I'm testing a hypothesis right now, I think you're going to find that it's going to be hit and miss. And I don't think it makes for great culture when it comes to building a team.
Yep.
I think we've seen it a little bit kind of in the one and dones with college basketball. So very similarly, kind of carrying this thing over to football, where guys are looking for their piece of the pie. They think that's the big goal, to get the NIL money up front. When they finally start realizing that they're playing checkers and the big picture is chess. And they need to worry about, getting through with an education and making themselves the best possible player they can be to go on to the NFL, to have a sustainable, kind of a career, and get that NFL retirement. I think once people start to kind of realize that stuff, it'll shift maybe back a little ways. But up front right now, the market's great. I mean, if that's what you're looking for, is you're looking to go from $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, up front to, your six-figure kind of money as a true freshman, I think Knight and Oregon are willing to pay it. I think Texas is willing to pay it. I think some other guys are willing to go that far as well. I just don't know what that means to building a program, and having to potentially reload, year after year. I think there's some great examples of successful teams that have done that in that college basketball, kind of scenario that I brought up before. And I think that there are other ones that just, you always see it, that there's individuals, out there playing a team sport, and it just sometimes does not mix well. It doesn't provide the chemistry that you're looking for when it comes to being a team sport. So I think it's going to be short-term wins. I think it's going to be hit and miss. And it's going to be really, really difficult, I think, to be as involved, like those guys want to be when it comes to managing a roster and bringing in the kind of dollars that they want to bring in. I think greed is going to become the overwhelming kind of factor there, I think, amongst those players.
The players are one aspect, but so is the coach, right? Dan Lanning seems like he's an up-and-coming young coach who has a successful career ahead of him. And Brian, I can see this as both a blessing and a curse for him, right? The blessing is, hey, talented players for a good coach, trust him to make it work. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bang, we're good to go. On the flip side of that, he's still a young coach. If he's given all these resources, all this money, and he doesn't win, there's a huge bullseye, a target on his back from the fan base. You couldn't do more with more. You did less with more. You're an underachiever. And those labels don't go away easily. So would you rather, if you were a coach, have your biggest NIL donor, boosters, whoever, pay to get you talent and trust your ability to win it in the short term? Or would you rather have their backing and essentially use their money to buy you time to build the program in your image?
Well, it's a great concept. I mean, because the minute that you were kind of bringing that up, I thought about that title that maybe finally has kind of been washed away from Mac Brown.
Mm.
I think Mac Brown was the kind of coach, down here, and Strick knows because he spent some time down here and had watched those teams and saw the recruiting classes that Mac Brown was pulling into Austin, and won national championship.
Yeah.
One national championship from all of that.
Yeah.
And then you had a dynamic playmaker like Vince Young, as a quarterback. But I think that's a very interesting case, because I think inevitably the track, the runway, becomes shorter the minute that you say, I'd rather have the talent and to allow me to try to win versus you trying to buy me time and trying to be more organic. I think that obviously those are your X and Y axis, right? The money that you're spending up front versus the time, I think, that in which the people will be tolerable of you, not getting to the playoffs in year one or year two versus needing to make a splash like immediately. those days are obviously going to be coming. And I think that those quicker judgments and, it's ultimately it leads to just a lot more spend happening, for head coaches and for rosters overall, because people will point the finger at not only just like bad coaching, but they'll look at bad evaluations, and maybe we're throwing bad money at, at bad players. Well, then we need to go find the good players. Well, then the good players are going to cost you even more. And that's where I think the prices and all this stuff will escalate, and it will get even worse.
It's Brian Munson of Husker Online, our guest, 3:30 on Mondays. Brian, as always, appreciate your time, appreciate your insight. Recommend people check you out on Twitter and huskeronline.com. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it.
Strick, you got my number. Hit me up next time.
All right, B-Months. Next time I come through. Later, brother.
That's Brian Munson, again, joining us on our VIP line, brought to you by Aloe Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. Lots to get to in the crossover. Let's get to it. Jay Foreman in the building. We'll wrap up on the block next.
Do you have a new address or phone number? Update your info with Powerline, LES's outage reporting system. Visit les.com/powerline or call 402-475-4211 to sign up.
Are you looking to upgrade your farm equipment? You're in luck. Acres, your premier John Deere dealer, recently dropped its prices on select late model tractors, combines, planters, and sprayers. Trade in your old equipment today and get never-before-seen discounts that can save you over $100,000. With great financing options and our A-plus support, there's no better time to upgrade. Visit your local Acres store or see the huge savings at acres.com. That's AKRS.com to see the best prices in the nation.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from a program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Problem gambling affects millions of Americans daily, of all ages and walks of life. If your loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Midwest Bank is proud to be your local community bank right here in Lincoln. This is Kim with Midwest Bank. We know there is more to your business than numbers and spreadsheets. For us at Midwest Bank, the people who make up a business matter most. We believe in getting to know you and your business and providing customized banking solutions that help protect your business and help it grow. Schedule a free consultation with us today. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Learn more at midwest.bank. Member FDIC.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, mainly sunny skies, and it will be very hot. We'll see an afternoon high around 101. Tonight, a slight chance of showers and storms, otherwise partly cloudy with a low around 69. And tomorrow, a slight chance of showers and storms, otherwise mainly sunny with a high around 87. I'm meteorologist Kyle Hucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No tag-ons, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
What a day. I could sure use an afternoon pick-me-up. Hold up. The new 93.7 The Ticket location has a milk, coffee, and tea inside? Oh, yeah. This is a game changer.
Need an afternoon pick-me-up? How about a coffee or smoothie on your way to work? Stop by the Ticket Mill location on 1040 O Street to get your go-to drink or try out our new game day drinks, exclusive to the Ticket Mill location. We know it'll make your day a million times better.
What's your radon level at home? Don't know? Find out with a call to Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating, 467-1111 for radon testing and mitigation.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back one final time here during On the Block. Austin Orman, Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman. Jay, welcome in. What it do?
What's happening, man? It's blazing out there, boy.
It's hot.
Welcome to football season.
It's hot as Hades out there.
Yeah,
but it was hotter in Dallas. My boy.
It wasn't.
Woo.
I don't know about that, man.
And now listen, Pop said it's super blazing out on the East Coast.
Yeah.
North Carolina, South Carolina.
Like
Right? He said they was out there at 9 a.m. because his birthday was this weekend. He said they was out there, turned 68. Said they was out there and shirts were just drenched.
Yeah.
At 9 o'clock. You know, normally you get out that early hour, you can kind of catch the latter half of it. You know,
you be good. You on the back nine,
right?
Yeah.
But no.
Got you right out the get go. I'm here.
Yeah, I'm still mad at y'all, man. I'm still bitter, bro. I'm bitter, Bob, right now.
About what?
Cause y'all shaky.
That's Jake. That's Jake. You better take that over to Shaky Jake.
No. How'd you have a good weekend?
Yeah, man.
Stricky was outside.
Yeah, I know. I saw you. You was in effect.
It was in effect.
Yeah,
Full effect.
You was Club Kid was in effect. I seen you too. I said, this dude, he on that crunk juice.
Man, yeah, I had to celebrate my boy Spud, man.
Yeah, I saw that.
Spud came to my party, so I had to, I believe in that reciprocal stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know, some folk don't believe like that, Jay. Like you'll come to their golf tournament and do that, and then you just say, "Come through," and then all of a sudden they get brand new.
They get brand new on you, man.
Right.
Yeah. You always got to keep it real because you just never know, man. You know
he came on the show.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, you got to do
on
that.
the love. Just showed up, talk NC State.
You got to do that,
you gotta
man.
do that for your boys, man.
You know, when you play in a fraternity of basketball or football, you know, it's you know, you sometimes take it for granted, man. Like, you know, Jacoby Jones passed away. I didn't get to play with him, but you know, through alumni weekend, I got to know him. One, because I saw him and I was like, hey, I said, man, you got to break down the squirrel because he had the best end zone dances of all time, right? But he was a cool dude, man, and he passed away at 40, man, in his sleep.
Yeah, man.
I don't know, like nobody knows.
He
just turned 40.
To me, he was the Kenny Jet Smith of football.
Yeah,
he would not. He you know.
Kobe
ran. He ran like McFadden. Them knees was coming together, but he was straight scat pack.
Yeah, the thing with you talk about McFadden from Arkansas. Yeah, them knees ain't get. Them dudes had tight hamstrings, but they were fast as all get out. Yeah, man. And Jacoby's a big dude, man. 6'3.5", you know, and it's unfortunate that, you know, he passed away in his sleep, man, just because he was just turned 40. I think he played all the way till he was like 32, 33. You got to think, man, he just got done playing. So I hope it wasn't something, you know, that nobody knew about or, you know, wasn't able to get addressed. So, you know, the fact that you're taking time, resources, energy to go down there and support Spud, that just lets you know what type of person you are, man. So that's big, man. You got to do that just because you just never know, man.
Yeah, no doubt. And I just love good people.
Yeah, good time, too.
I do it for Jay Foreman, too.
Yeah, man. We always going to have a good time. By about 10 athletes.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
So, Jay, where we going to go? Because you know where I want to go with Jay.
Hit it.
Spinning the paper. Your boys from Oregon Ducks is spinning paper. They out there James Harden in it.
Yeah, they said, I saw it feel nice that they got unlimited NIL.
James Harden, you walk in the building and the machines is going off.
Yeah.
Just
Club Honest.
I said he's Club Honest, right?
Down in Houston.
I said he is the Oprah Winfrey of NIL right now.
Yeah,
anybody can get it.
Yeah,
you get it.
He's trying to build a super team. You know, Oregon's first NIL was their uniforms.
Right.
It was NIL, but then here's where their second NIL was, where they were way ahead of everybody. And Thibodeau, that got drafted by the Giants, and he could have went to USC, all these other places. And they asked him, I remember in his draft process, they were asking him, you know, why he chose Oregon. Well, when he met with Phil Knight and the coaches, not only you're getting all that funny stuff with the, you know, jerseys and stuff, we will set you up with possibility or essentially a job or an opportunity.
The aftermath
with Nike.
Dr. Dre.
Right.
The aftermath.
Right. With Nike.
Right.
So that was their NIL before. So they've been way ahead of NIL in forward thinking long before. And so now he can put his, you know, Daddy Warbucks behind it and that money behind it. You know, then there's no excuse for Dan Lanning not to recruit the best.
There we go. So I'm gonna let Austin get into this.
So now the pressure's on the head coach.
If
I'm the recruiting coordinator, I'm the recruiting coordinator, I know Phil Knight gonna call you and say, "Hey man, how you lose that offensive tackle to whatever?"
Pressure.
Because now you
see
like
boy.
See, like
we don't even have to ask the question when Jay come in. He already on the way.
See, like Bama back in the day could say, "Hey, look, we'll set you up for NFL," right? Well, now Oregon's in the Big Ten. So now you neck and neck with the SEC with the you guys are the two most powerful conferences. So you're gaining by coming to the Big Ten. So now the pressure's on. Look, you better close every deal. Whoever goes to campus there, takes a visit, the closing percentage better be like 90%.
Before you walk out. Before you leave the door, I need to know where we at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably before you even get on the flight. You ain't. I mean,
don't come out here if you ain't.
You know, Jaden Rashada.
You know, you could really, really actually be more efficient in recruiting. The fact that you got all that money, because before I even bring you in on an official visit, I got to know where you stand.
This is what we offer,
right? And then you know what? I could, you know,
I might give you an little extra.
Yeah, visitation fee. Straight up. I mean, to be honest with you,
no, that's right.
Because if you did it, say if you just brought 50 guys on official visit versus 100, or just versus 100.
What is that swag bag like when they get into the room?
I just want some Jordan 4s. That's all I'm doing.
That's
all I want. You know, just send me right over there. I want Jordan 4s. I want the all black ones,
right.
And then I want the original Jordan 1s, and then you can give me some 6s, and then I'm good.
There's one thing in it for sure. 10-second pause for station ID.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Yeah, man. So you're already on it. I mean, that's kind of the direction that I wanted to take it with you. And then Austin, you basically answered the question. So my thing is, we've seen remnants of it by way of one and done. We've seen remnants of it at the professional level by way of the Phoenix Suns, by way of the Clippers, by way of teams that have basically blew through the salary cap and the luxury tax
and won nothing.
And didn't win a doggone thing, right? So we've seen it. We've seen that part of it. But one thing, being a football player, and this is why I wanted to, because I can only speak on the basketball side. I wasn't at that level to understand the internal pressures and the internal competitions that go on just outside of the being in where you're slotted in your position.
Yeah.
Your positions are your
sure.
depth chart.
Yeah.
So here's the question. When you're talking about that kind of stuff being thrown around, what type of pissing contest is going to go on? What type of cultural issues can be created internally? What type of effect will it take away from that drive, that passion to go the long play?
Yeah.
Because the long play is the NFL play with that retirement.
Yeah.
Does it create a short-sighted mindset? Does it create tensions in the locker room? Can you speak on that a little bit?
It could, but in the NFL locker room, I'll give you an example. We had a quarterback, that was making an enormous amount of money at that time.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't that good, so there wasn't an animosity of like how much he was making. It was just more like how you're not performing,
right?
So I think that all kind of takes care of itself because everybody should know quarterbacks are gonna get paid more than the inside linebacker or whatever. So you kind of know where people are slotted. Now, the most important thing is spending your money on the right kids.
Mm-hmm.
Because
now outside of just on field talent, you're talking about character,
integrity,
right?
People that love the game, still competitors, because the ones that generally are able to do both. So like a Will Anderson at Alabama, who's at Houston now, or Bryce Young, or C.J. Stroud. Those guys, they were making millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
What's the big forward from North Carolina? Baycott. He was making $2 million. He still was an All-American. Though this is what people think. Now, the ones that don't love it are going to be influenced by the money, and they're just going to get the money and shut down. Right? They're like quick grabbers. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They're the hustlers. They don't hustle.
Right.
Right. So they're gonna hustle.
They're scammers, basically.
Right. They're gonna fake it,
right?
And then they're gonna act like they want to go to the next level, but they haven't done everything that they need to.
Mm-hmm.
So then the pressure is gonna come on into internally the coaching staff, the evaluation staff. That sometimes you might have to walk away from a number one or number two at a certain position because he's not built for your team. Because the standard needs to be listen, business is here, reality in football is here. Once business is done, we 100% football, we 100% basketball, we 100% track, volleyball, all that. And then then once if you have good leadership in there, obviously from top to bottom, it'll trickle down into your locker room. Now, where the things get tricky now, here's where things will get tricky for a place like Oregon. Right now, the pressure's on recruiting, recruit. They're gonna put all their emphasis on recruiting. Well, you better make sure that you're coaching and developing those guys as well, and evaluating those guys. So that now the pressure's on generally on the staff. So then just say there's a flip to a hard salary cap, right? You have a ceiling that the most that you can spend on the books. Right now, there will be some brown bag deals and all that. Then you got to dial it back, and then really be salary cap sound. So that's like if you watch the Hard Knocks with the New York Giants about Saquon Barkley and all that. He was in, but the GM has been in Buffalo where he missed the mark at, and this was on advice of his, I think head of pro scouting or whatever. He's like, I don't think anybody gives Saquon that money. And the first team that they mentioned was Philly. Who needs a running back? Philly. They got the money. You want to know how they had the money? Jason Kelce retired. Fletcher Cox retired. You are
magically opened up.
Yeah, and they were under contract. So they projected the salary cap to be $240. It was $255. Mm-hmm. So just in that alone,
more magic money.
Just in that alone, Saquon slides in there on your team or another team. So that's where if it comes salary cap. Now this might be years down the road, so who knows who's going to be where. But also if you have unlimited money, this is where people kind of smoke screen. But just because you have that financial backing, don't think Phil Knight's not going to want to
ROI on that paper, return on investment.
Yeah, don't give this dude, and then because he's expecting
Yeah.
If you say, hey, I'm going to give Jay Foreman $1 million, he's going to want to, within a season or two, he's going to want to see me out there producing, unless I'm injured or something like that, or like a family issue or something. So you got to make sure you're doing your job, because you could get fired by just bringing dudes in and throwing around money. Now, that's the thing, like, people don't understand. Just because you have other people's money to spend doesn't mean you just throw it around, because they're going to evaluate you how you spend their money.
Right.
That's what's so important.
Last thing for you, see they didn't let your boy Nick Saban into SEC Media Days today?
That's just petty.
He forgot his credential in his room, and they said, nope, come back with your credential. We'll let you in.
Petty.
Somebody,
petty wop.
Look, if you just want to find a way to get fired, that's it.
Just be petty wop.
Do you not know who he is? You know what it is? It's probably the same dude seen him last year. Hey, Nick, how you doing? Oh, you ain't got your credentials? Oh, come back. You know Jonathan Kay, who was on the PGA Tour, same thing happened. Guess where he put his credentials?
Oh, no.
Below his waistline. He said, you see it now? And the only reason I know is we had the same agent.
Dang.
And he got tightened up by the PGA Tour, but he had, you wear like a little
the lanyard thing.
Yeah, lanyard. He put it down there and said, you got my credential now? Because he couldn't get into the tournament, but he had been playing there all week. So he had to go back. Him and Richie, his caddy, had to go back to he said, okay, here it is. You want to zap me now?
That's hilarious.
That's funny. Update from the MLB draft. Brett Sears drafted in the 7th round, 221st overall, becoming the second Husker drafted behind Josh Caron. For Strick, I'm Boston. This has been On the Block. We'll be back when, Stricky?
Mañana.
Old School. Next. Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical, and retirement benefits,